let's head on to the next lesson, which is about new board member orientation. This is a really critical part of good board succession planning recruitment, and it's really important that we create a sense of comfort, a sense of belonging, a sense of not being overwhelmed, and yet make sure that people are as new board members in an incremental learning process so that they're getting to know the organization, the nature of our work and services and programs, and then all of the other fundamentals that relate to board governance. So what we want to do is create a board binder. You can create two versions of this. You can create a mini board binder with the orientation stuff, but sooner or later every board member is going to have it all. So what I like is I like the big board binder that's the full meal deal. It can be electronic or paper. I like electronic because I'm an ebook reader, but some people really want it in a 3-ring binder. So suit yourself about the best way of doing that. But then take some sticky notes or some of those little colored, Mylar tabs, and then red highlight the parts that a new board member should read right away. So if you red highlight, 10 sections in that binder with little red tabs on it, then that says to your new board member, this is my critical reading, and the rest of it I will get to when I get to, or I can refer to it when I need to. So you want to put your board binder together with some pretty important content. First of all, I like this first thing in the page. It's helpful if this is laminated or has a little bit of sturdiness to it. You can put it in a sleeve. Is that a list of the members and their contact information, email, cell phone numbers at home, even mailing addresses if you want to include that. So this is a list of the members of your board, and you might include that on that list, the senior managers of your organization who are likely to have any kind of board contact. Your meeting schedule comes next, so that's really, really clear what is expected of them if they're on a committee or when the committees meet, but certainly your board meetings and your frequency of your board meetings, including your annual general meeting. So that comes into kind of a one-year board calendar. I want you to give your login credentials and make the login credentials easy for the board member to remember. Most of you have servers, most of you have common drives of some sort, most of you can create a board portal. Let's make this easy for our board members to be able to get information quickly from any device. They can get it from their phone, when they're riding the bus home, they can get it from their kitchen table on a Sunday afternoon. So make this an easy thing and don't wait 2 or 3 weeks before you get them able to log in. And by the way, make sure you give them the login credentials to the Great Boards video course because they could be watching that at home in their spare time, on their lunch breaks, whatever. It's great to bring your board members up to speed by getting them through all of the modules in the board training, and then you can replay the modules in the board meetings and have conversations with your board colleagues. You want in your board binder governance policies, your bylaws, your operational policies, appendix the operational policies. They don't have to be front and center. Vision, mission, values, beliefs, whatever those kind of foundational framework kinds of documents are. Make sure that you have your current year's minutes and how to access previous year's minutes. So that's probably on the portal or the server. And you're going to want to make sure that the current year's minutes so far in the current fiscal year are actually in the board binder. You want to make sure that you have your annual event schedule. Are there retreats planned? And even if your retreat's normally in September and you don't have the exact date, you can still say annual board planning retreat will be in the month of September, usually the first weekend or the second weekend or whatever that is. When your annual general meeting is, if you have standing fundraising events that are either booked or the month that they're going to be held in, put that into your annual calendar. Your current budget and your list of your major funders and the dollars that each one of those funders contribute. And by the way, if you have a capital budget, make sure that is there as well. Your annual report and your audited financial statement are usually one document. So put that in your binder and don't put it front and center because the numbers piece can be overwhelming for non-finance people. For finance people, they're going to find it. Put a red tag on it, however, that says in part of your orientation, this document, this last year's audited financial statements is an important document. If you have somebody that is not highly skilled, make sure that the treasurer or your finance director books some time with them to spend time reviewing the audited financial statements and your monthly and current financial statements as well. This is often a point of overwhelm, and you can see kind of the glassy eyes and the Venetian blinds close up when you start looking at these sheets of numbers. That's not good. We really want our board members to feel comfortable with all of the information we have. So if they are program people, not finance people, get them booked in to spend some time with your treasurer or finance people who are staff so that they understand what they are looking at. I love the idea of a buddy system. It works incredibly well. You buddy the brand new member up with a longer serving member. They sit together at all meetings. They're allowed to have little side conversations where when you use an acronym and you use an abbreviation or use some jargon, the new member is allowed to lean over and say, "What does that mean?" And the other member is allowed to lean back and say, "It means this." So this is part of supporting the board member. If a board member misses a meeting, it allows whoever attended, either the newbie or the longer term member, to make a phone call, to write a quick email to say, not much happened at the board meeting, but here are some of the things that we talked about, just so you know. And so it creates a sense of connection, of camaraderie, of team spirit, and it allows us to build relationships one person at a time, rather than one person with 12 people. Much, much easier if we build it one person at a time. It creates a sense of comfort and belonging. I love having name cards and name tags. Lots of boards now, the organizations are putting nice little brass nameplates on that nobody can see from the other side of the room. I just like a folded piece of cardboard paper with the first name of the board member sitting in front of them. For the first 2 or 3 meetings for new members, that's really helpful. And for some of your longer term members who are not really good with names, it helps them remember the new people. So keep those around. You can pick them up at the end of the meeting, reuse them the next time, and do that for 2 or 3 board meetings at least until everybody gets to know each other's names. I like the fact that some boards meet over food, and sometimes they have the food first and they have a little bit of a social time, so they get together, they gather at 5 and the board meeting starts at 5:30. It gives a little bit of flexibility for board members who are late to leave their working environments or have to run home to take care of family things before they come. It gives a little bit of time, but make sure your board meeting starts then promptly at 5:30. And for those board members who want to come, socialize, visit, have a sandwich together, it really does help create that sense of connection and engagement with each other. One-to-one time with the chairperson and every new board member, and one-to-one time with the executive director and CEO and every new board member are absolutely essential for the orientation, and usually one-to-one with the treasurer or the finance person of the organization. I really like it when the board chair practices a check-in with new members after the first 2, 3, 4 meetings, whatever seems to make sense for you. And that essentially is a phone call or a cup of coffee or even a lunch where the board chair says, "How are you doing? How are you enjoying the board? Are you feeling that you're finding your place? Are there anything that's confusing to you? Can I answer any questions? And this is the important part of this conversation. I would like you now to consider sitting on XYZ committee. That's my Canadian American translation. So that's an opportunity for the new board member to step into being able to contribute in a way that's beyond just a regular board meeting process. So this is an opportunity to get the board member a little bit more engaged. If that board member seems to be struggling, they're not participating in the meetings, it's a good time for the board chair to say, I notice that you're pretty quiet, and I understand this can be a little bit overwhelming. Is there anything that we can do to help you feel more comfortable and feeling you can have an opinion or ask a question or contribute an idea? And so this is serving the new board member who is quieter, perhaps a little more introverted. It's serving notice that we're asking them to contribute and participate. It's creating a standard and an expectation. You don't push too hard, but just make sure that they understand that you've noticed that they're not being quite as participative as you would like them to be. Now, some of the reasons that new board members don't participate is they're on overwhelm, but the other reason is you're current board members don't let them get a word in edgewise. Sometimes your executive director doesn't let them get a word in edgewise. As chair of the board, it is an important responsibility to go directly to that person and say, Mary, did you have a thought on this that you would like to share with us? Because I see your face and I see that you're probably having something to contribute, but we're probably not giving you a chance to get a word in edgewise. That's a direct way of kindly and gently, but with a fair amount of encouragement, inviting Mary to participate and contribute to the conversation that's happening at a board or a committee meeting. All right, this brings us to the end of the module on succession planning, recruitment, and orientation. This is your learning assignment, and it's your turn to think about the 7 questions that are on your screen and in your handout. I'll just remind you that if your board is struggling, you need to do the exercises at the end of each one of the modules, because it really will help you get this right. And it's no more important place than when we talk about recruitment and getting our new members off on the right foot. The other part that's really important is you got a really good board. Your board can always tweak and improve its processes. So don't just kind of rubber stamp stuff. Actually mind down and look at your current processes and said, yeah, we are a good board, but you know what? We could tweak this, we could improve that, we can do better. So this is the end of this module, and please continue on with the next modules. See you soon.